Hello, I'm Mike Porter with Print Mail Consultants. We haven't looked into our What Were They Thinking file for a while. This is a collection of stories from the world of customer communications that catch my attention because they represent an opportunity to learn from the experiences of others. Now, some of these experiences are good and some are not so good. But each of these little case studies represents a lesson. You may see some things in these stories that are familiar to you, that look like they're things that happen in your own shop or have a potential to happen in your own shop, and you can take some preventative measures now. So that's why we do these. First up is a story out of Canton, Ohio. Now, the circumstances here are similar to a story I related a few months ago about property tax bills in another part of the country. There's 26,000 residents in Canton, and when they received their sewer bills, they realized that they were referring to properties that they didn't own. Also, there was payment information that related to accounts that were not theirs. Now, it was later determined that the errors applied only to the printed bills and that the computer files were just fine, but residents were still concerned about payment deductions from their bank accounts, and they had automatic payment plans that were going to be affected. Now, the other case that I cited, this happened when the address information got separated from the tax information and then got mismatched on the way putting them back together. Perhaps this is a similar thing. As several of the residents pointed out, some pretty basic quality control procedures could have caught this error. The residents were mad, and they received allegations that there was some sort of improper contract negotiations between the print mail service provider and the county. So it was just bad press for both parties. Next, I have a number of cases related to identity theft and data security. Now, when we think of identity theft, we often jump to complicated hacking schemes or the embarrassing theft of a laptop. But these examples just prove how just a simple printing error can have the same kind of an effect in the minds of those people that are affected. Now, the reactions of some of the responsible parties here, I think, could have been better. I think you'll see what I mean. In England, the Skipton Building Society sent out 3,100 financial statements with someone else's account information on the back. The information included names, account numbers, and account balances. Now, the society played down the impact on the account holders because they said that no fraudulent transactions were possible since they required a physical passbook. That may be true, but it doesn't take into account that uncomfortable feeling that you have when you know that your personal financial information in your name was revealed to somebody else. The University of Missouri sent out 1098-T forms to their students in window envelopes. Unfortunately, along with the names and addresses, some students' social security numbers were also visible through the windows. Now, the college made several statements blaming the error on a folding machine and on a variance in window placement. And they even pointed to the small margin of error on the standardized IRS forms. They said that while they regretted the problem, that they didn't really consider this to be a security breach. While they won't pay for credit protection for the affected students, they did point out that the college had a discount program with Experian and that students could sign up there. As you might imagine, a number of the students felt that the college didn't really adequately address that situation. In Oak Ridge, Oregon, a list of city employees along with their social security numbers and wage information got printed on the back of a newsletter that was subsequently put in with the water bills and sent out to the residents. Now, how can something like this happen, you might say? Well, there's actually an explanation. For this small city, the printing of the newsletters is a big job, so they break it up into batches of 100. And to save wear and tear on the duplex function of their printer, they run the fronts of the newsletters through and then turn the paper over and run the backs. Well, unfortunately, this printer is also shared by the payroll department. One of those times when they were moving the paper from the output tray to the input tray, the payroll department started their report. Nobody caught the error. Now, in this case, the city is ending up paying for credit protection services for all the city employees for an entire year. Plus, they suffered the embarrassment of seeing their mistake aired on the local news. Also out of Oregon is this story about the new health insurance provider for all state employees. About 4,500 state employees received their welcome packets from the new insurance company, but printed on the back was information from other workers. Are you sensing a theme here? Included in the information were names, addresses, and ID numbers and dependent information. According to the insurance company, a jam occurred during a run of about 6,500 letters. As a result, about 70% of the run was out of sync between the fronts and the backs. The insurance company reissued ID numbers for all those affected employees and reissued ID cards. Now, while no HIPAA-related information was revealed as a result of this error, the insurance company did have to shut down the website for a while in order to prevent the unauthorized access to claims information that might have been possible as a result of the revealing of that other information. I've got more examples, but that's all that we have time for here. I've also got some thoughts about some things that could have been done to prevent these embarrassing mistakes from becoming news items. Just go to the publications page on printmillconsultants.com to hear some more What Were They Thinking stories and get a list of some simple things that you can do to prevent these kinds of things from happening in your shop. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next time.